뭐해? 빨리 와.
어디 가요?
우리 이쪽으로 갈 거야.
우리만요?
빨리 와, 가자. 뭡니까?
나도 그쪽으로 가려고.
저쪽으로 가야 메인 광장이에요. 그냥 사람들 따라가시면 돼요.
그쪽이랑 같이 가려고. 아까 통화한 거 다 들었어. 그쪽이랑 쟤만 따로 빼준다고. 나머지 사람들은 전부 격리된다며.
아니야, 수아나. 그냥 상태만
사람들한테
지켜보.
말해줘요.
수아나 말 안 해줘도 돼.
말해줘야죠.
신경 쓰지 마. 그냥 각자 알아서 하는 거야.
아빠는 자기밖에 몰라. 그러니까요. 엄마도 떠난 거잖아요.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Film Bros podcast. My name is Isaiah Lucas, and I'm joined by my co-hosts.
Abraham.
And Nick.
How are you guys doing tonight?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. I got no Hershey's Nuggets. None.
None whatsoever. For
None at all.
Halloween.
No.
Man.
I'm upset about that.
I bought my own candy, so I got what I wanted.
I mooched off my parents at their house and took
You
Kit
said-
Kats and
Yeah.
Three Musketeers.
Yeah, how do y'all feel about Reese's Pieces, real quick?
I haven't had them in so long.
You got to do the SpongeBob Foghorn. The
No, that's where you're wrong. Reese's Pieces slap.
They're different. They are different.
They're so good.
I got to try them again. I remember liking them, but not like I would never choose them over a regular Reese's.
Yeah, whatever.
Give me a Reese's every single day over Pieces.
Yeah,
Pieces, whatever.
but I'd rather go like. So for me, dude, if I'm going to like circular shaped, I don't want to call it ball looking like candy because I don't want to say like
They're like more discus, right?
like UFO, like
yeah. I get what you're saying.
like UFO,
Like an M&M shape.
yeah, M&M shaped candy. Top tier is peanut butter M&Ms. And then
Whoa, no, dude.
yeah,
Well,
yes, not peanut M&Ms.
well,
your favorite is
and they're not discus shaped either, so it's
But I'm saying like that kind of shape, like.
just pieces.
I
Is that what
don't, I
you're
don't want to say circle shape, like
Whatever.
ball shape. What? How would you describe it?
I
You got to eat two at a time.
I wouldn't call them ball shaped. That's for sure.
How would you
bro.
call it?
Like you said, like discus, or I don't know. I don't know. Just say M&Ms, bro. Everyone knows what you're talking about when you
Sure,
say
yeah,
M&Ms,
yeah.
bro.
But like,
That's your number one? Is that what you're trying to say?
yeah, that's my number
Peanut
one.
butter.
Peanut butter M&Ms, and then Reese's Pieces,
Is underneath that?
and then it goes to mini M&Ms, not regular M&Ms, minis.
Yeah, I would never. I don't like regular M&Ms. Those can disappear, and I wouldn't be mad about it.
Yeah, me too.
I was gonna ask you guys though. Did you see any weird candy out there? Like, did you see your niece and nephew's candy boxes or anything?
No, I mean, I saw that they got popcorn balls.
Did they?
Yeah,
Is you not?
They're still around.
yeah.
I had seen. The only reason I ask is because I was searching through my little nephew's, and he got. It looked like it said Kool-Aid on it.
Okay.
And when we were sorting it, I said,
Look
"Oh,
at
what's
the
that?" He
packet.
goes, "Oh, you put this in your drink." And I was like, "People are giving out Kool-Aid packets? What the heck?" And then I look at it because it's one of those. It's smaller than a Kool-Aid packet, and it's Kool-Aid popping candy.
That you put in your drink?
No, I think you just down it.
Oh, okay, like Pop Rocks.
Yeah, just like Pop Rocks, but
Kool-Aid
Kool-Aid branded.
flavor.
What
And
the
he had cherry and grape, and I'd never seen that before.
Me
I
either.
bet the grape is fire.
I saw they had Warhead sour taffy.
Ooh,
Yeah, in
like
my-
Laffy Taffy.
Yeah, it was like the Warheads.
That's
but they-
gotta be gas.
but they make-
Warheads are
they
sour
had the-
candy sucks.
It was like green apple sour candy.
Yeah, he had a pile of stuff he couldn't eat, and he got the warheads and immediately put them over there.
Dude,
can't
I
take it.
liked Warheads.
I
Warheads
can't
are good.
handle it. The pucker's too much. Like,
You suck them
No.
until you bleed.
No, but the thing is like it's so the sweetness is the reward.
Yeah,
Like you
gotta-
get through that sourness, and then once that
I don't think
sweetness
I
hits,
can
you're like,
get through the
"Oh, that's
sourness.
good."
Yeah, I see people put them in water bottles and shake
yeah,
it.
freaking shake the sour off and just have the sweet.
I used to do
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
The black cherry ones, the most sour ones.
Yeah.
Everyone would give away their
Do
lemons
you remember
too.
Zot?
Yeah.
Zots.
Yeah,
I can't
Zot.
get rid of Zots. I don't
The
know.
freaking fizzy. I don't like them.
Me neither.
They taste weird. But yeah, I had a fun Halloween. I just Alexa and I went and spent it with my parents and my brothers and just my family and just hung out. We watched The Conjuring with one another.
Oh, you watched The Conjuring?
Oh
Yeah.
wow! I thought you guys were gonna watch the thing.
No, they ended up they were already watching The Conjuring when we walked in, so we finished it and then
Fair. Isn't that the tiptoe through the?
no, that's Insidious.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
But we watched that and then handed out candy to the trick-or-treaters, and my niece and nephew came and gave them candy and hung out for a while, and then it was like 7:30 or 8 o'clock, and we were like, okay, well, what do we want to watch now? And the immediate go-to was Five Nights at Freddy's. So we watched the Five Nights at Freddy's movie on Halloween night,
All right.
and I think I got like maybe an hour in or something like that because I had like 40 minutes left of the movie after Alexa was like, "Let's go home."
It's almost 2 hours long.
No, I think
It's
it's an
about
hour
an
and
hour
a half.
50.
It's an
Oh,
hour and a
okay,
half or
okay,
so.
okay.
Like,
I was about to say 2 hours of that.
yeah.
From what I'm hearing, no, thank you.
So
Yeah, I watched it, dude. Too.
yeah, it was. I don't know. I mean, I'm not like a huge fan of the games. I recently watched all of Wendigoon's lore video on YouTube about it. So like I'm up to date on like what the lore is for everything. And
Is the lore pretty good?
I mean, it's crazy in depth, and it kind of blows my mind that people who are like diehard fans of the game had to just like piece together what the lore currently is because it's broken up amongst all of the games. So like when you see the actual timeline of the game, it's like, oh well, actually Five Nights at Freddy's 4 takes place first in the timeline, and then it jumps to 6, and then back to 2, and then to 3, then to 1, then like
Oh.
and like
What?
all this
God.
timeline is it's
That
crazy.
sounds so ridiculous.
And for like diehard fans, they had to play the first one. They found stumbled upon some random Easter egg, and then were like, "What am I supposed to make of this?" And then they made up their own theories, and that's why you got like the crazy Five Nights at Freddy's fans now because
Yeah.
they like just sit there and make up all their own theories, and then like once more of the games come out, the lore kind of starts being revealed. and
There's
all
an
this
end
stuff,
credit
but-
to it.
to the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes COM. They do it in the game too, where you essentially spells out like "come find
It
me."
spells out "come find me," and I was actually kind of happy. I was proud of myself. I got to I heard it and I said, "Oh, it says come find me."
Yeah,
Oh,
so they're
really?
making a second one for sure. Just even based off the freaking
Box
box
office.
office returns is crazy.
Is it crazy already? You think?
Yeah, like I think just on opening weekend they made like $130 million
Jeez.
on a $20 million budget.
On a $20 million budget,
Yeah,
that's insane.
yeah. So like you already know,
It's coming back.
ramping up for number 2.
Yeah.
It's gonna be another freaking Fast and Furious. Yeah, like the double Fs, dude. The power of the Fs. Fast and Furious. Five Nights at
Power of
Freddy's.
the
Yeah,
And Phase up, bruh.
He's up.
yeah.
That's crazy.
But yeah, it was a good time. We just kind of hung out with one another and had a fun time.
All right. Yeah.
And now I'm kind of curious if we should have watched this movie that we're going to be talking about today because it was really good.
A horror too.
And it's
somewhat.
kind of somewhat horror, zombie, apocalypse type movie, which
Yeah.
is fitting. But I have to say, I really enjoyed this one, and I've always heard a lot about it. I've always heard praise about it, but I'm excited to finally cross it off my list because
Mm-hmm.
this was a good watch.
Oh, yeah.
I was really engaged the whole time.
Yeah. It's your kind of basic zombie plot line, but elevated with characters, with setting, with just emotions all the way through. I think it really does its job.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. Even the second time watching through it.
Yeah.
It was great.
This is my first watch, and I was not expecting a lot of these things to happen, and I loved it. It was a good movie. My eyes were glued to the screen. I hardly have notes down, because also when we're watching a foreign film, you have to read the subtitles. So it's kind of hard for me to like read and pay attention to my phone at the same time when I'm taking notes.
Yeah.
yeah, and then that on top of it also being a first watch,
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like-
it's tough.
kind of hard to denote like, oh, well, that was one of my favorite scenes.
Yeah.
But I think I want to give the movie credit where it's due for being as engaging as it was,
yeah.
because I didn't want to stop to write notes.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to sit there and watch it, and like was so engaged that like I was like I don't even want to look down at my phone.
Right.
Yeah, it almost
and
felt like
miss
you
something.
couldn't look down at your phone. You had to know what's gonna happen next
Yeah.
True.
because it kept on going.
And like I said last week, I think the fact that it's something so familiar, especially to us Westerners, zombies are like a main part of our cult, like our TV.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got The Walking Dead for 11,000 seasons.
Yeah.
You've got all the spin-off shows coming off.
Mhm.
Zombies and zombie apocalypse are ingrained in our culture.
Yeah.
Dude, I grew up with like Resident Evil.
Exactly. Exactly. So when you get to a subtitled movie, it's a little bit more accessible when zombies are such a like you're gonna experience the same zombies. You're gonna experience the thrill of running, the thrill of being bit. Who's gonna be bit? Like it's
Yeah.
all very accessible to people who don't want to watch. Like at least for me, it was easy to remember what happens and who does what because characters are great, and it's something that you would have expected in a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
So it's one of the more accessible films or foreign films, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. With that being said, what movie are we talking about today,
We're
Nick?
talking about the 2016 movie Train to Busan. It was directed by Sang-ho Yeon, and it was written by him as well as along with let me see here, Joo-Suk Park.
Yes.
And just to get it out of the way, horrible at pronouncing these things. The names are have always been an issue for me.
Yeah.
So I'm to
Our
save
Western-
our embarrassment and all that stuff. I have names picked out for them,
Okay.
which I think fit what they are in the roles,
Yeah.
which I'll be calling them. But
Okay. We'll follow suit.
yes,
Yeah. Our Western minds cannot pronounce these names, unfortunately, or at least if we do try, we
I just don't want to.
I don't want to like put any disrespect on somebody. you
Yeah,
know,
and I know like when people get their like especially in school, you hear someone's last name and they get upset.
Yeah.
And it's not like you intentionally
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
I just don't want to.
We'll try to skirt it
Yeah.
here, but
Yeah, denies. Like when they
D nice.
D
yeah,
nice.
yeah, they're like A
A
wrong.
wrong.
Yeah, you're like no.
Yeah.
So, I got some names,
Okay. All right. What is the movie about?
dude. This movie is a tried and true zombie apocalypse movie. It follows a workaholic man, a fund manager. I think is what his title was.
Yes.
He's a fund manager who is having a really strained relationship with his daughter, and it's her daughter's birthday, and her daughter is or his daughter is basically saying, take me back to mom. I don't really want to be here anymore. It's my birthday wish. Take me back to mom. So they're on their way. They're going taking their train. I don't know if they're exactly going to Busan.
Yeah, they are.
They are.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're
He's accompanying her on the trip over.
Okay, hence the name Train to Busan. So
Yeah.
they're on this train, and all the while they're getting on this train, the zombie apocalypse is slowly starting to have an outbreak. You see, people just outside view getting tackled and bit. You see a shambling lady come into the bathroom of the train, and you just get to see the zombie apocalypse slowly break out throughout the film, all while they're stuck on this train.
Yeah.
And that's it, man. Train to Busan.
Yeah. It's an incredibly simple premise, but it's done with, I think, so much nuance. And it's, again, like I've said it already, it makes for such an engaging watch. And it's something that I didn't even want to take my eyes off the screen for a second because I wanted to know what's going to happen. Who's going to die? Is this guy going to get justice?
Yeah.
Like, what's going to happen?
There are
in
people
these-
I physically want to hurt.
Yeah. And the movie does such a good job of setting those characters up to make them so unlikable.
Yes.
And then whenever we see certain things happen, it's either yes or oh, dude, I hate this guy. Dude, like, yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. So, check it out if you haven't seen it already. It's streaming for free on a lot of
I
platforms.
know. You had
saw.
said YouTube. I don't know why I didn't go there first.
Yeah, so I checked again, and it still says it's free on YouTube when you Google it. And then it's free on other platforms like Crackle and Tubi and Freevee and all these other random streaming sites. But then if you have Paramount Plus subscription, you can watch it there.
Gotcha.
You can also watch it if you have a Peacock subscription. I think Amazon Prime had it as well. If you watch it over there with the subscription, it's on a lot of sites. So if you aren't paying for any of those subscriptions, and you want to download Tubi or something like that, and probably watch it with ads or something, you can do it. It's pretty easy to do so, and if you get to watch it for free, then by all means check it out because it's a great movie. So. And then obviously we're going to be talking about spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie and you care about spoilers, pause it, come back after you've watched the movie and hear what we have to say about it. If you don't care, continue listening. So,
yeah.
As always, we'll go ahead and start off with our first favorite scenes.
I'm starting with, I titled it as the initial outbreak on the train.
Okay.
That, to me, I think is done perfectly.
So are you referencing like when the girl stumbles onto the train?
When the girl stumbles onto the train.
Yeah, I think the editing
Isn't it?
is so slick, and they like how they get you to really get familiar with all the different cars that are on the train,
Right.
And cutting to different bathrooms and being like, "Oh, is that girl gonna be there? Oh no, this is a pregnant woman in there.
Oh yeah,
Is a girl gonna be in here? Oh, there's a homeless man
Yeah.
in this one."
And he's even like in turmoil, saying they're all dead. They're all dead.
Yeah, the editing here is really slick,
Yes.
and they really get the audience engaged from the jump, and you immediately want to know like, where's this girl gonna be? Like
Yes.
she obviously looks bitten. She's got like these like veins.
Yeah, those dark black
Dude, they're
veins coming
so
up.
dark.
Yeah.
They look like black licorice.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's spreading from her bite
Yeah.
on her leg.
Yeah,
It was genius because you obviously we get the introduction of the strained relationship with the father-daughter. That's why they're on the train in the first place. And the father's asleep. And I love it because it's almost in the perspective of the little girl. Like she sees the people trying to get to the bathroom saying like, oh, there's someone in there. She sees the guy saying they're all dead. She even sees like someone getting tackled as the train takes off. She is seeing all this stuff, but she's a kid. She's not going to say anything. But she's almost like the
What should I
audience.
do?
The
Yeah.
audience is seeing this as she's seeing it. So I like that.
yeah.
But again, you just get all of the characters. You get the train car with all the baseball players and how like one of them is really liking the guy and he's
Yeah.
he's like kind of ashamed of it.
Yeah.
You get the businessman that's there, the freaking a-hole guy.
Yo, the COO.
Yes,
Yeah.
the COO
Oh.
guy. You get the dude waiting on his pregnant wife.
Yes.
And it's, I think, flawless. I even like too when it almost, when you see the zombie person coming into the train at the last second, you're like, the fate is sealed.
Yeah.
And then you see her kind of waddling, and then as she gets to the floor and dies, it's so cool because it doesn't happen instantly. It almost is communicating like where you get bit is the amount of time you have.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
Because like her leg, she doesn't immediately turn. She kind of like, I kind of like the way she dies too, because she's walking like
Yeah.
with her hair's all in front of her
She's like
face.
this.
Yeah.
It's funny to me, but it's just perfect. And the way that she turns as the person doesn't notice her, bites her, and like
Yeah.
she's like, it's like a jockey almost.
Yeah.
As she's getting through the train car,
Yeah.
it's just
She's
great.
just missing the on the back.
Yes. And it just shows how quick something like this can spread.
Yeah.
It is from one person to 2 to 4 to 8 to 16, and by the time you know it, the whole train is ridden
Yeah.
with zombies.
Yeah. You've
Yeah.
got people climbing over one another just to try to get to that next person.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah, it is done really well. And I like seeing the outbreak on this tiny little train. And then also getting the parameters for how we're going to be able to try to potentially stop the spread of this and survive.
Yeah.
And like even something as small as like shutting the doors. And when they're all like all the survivors are huddled in that one car and they're like, I don't think they know how to open up the door.
Yeah.
And they like are sitting there and they're, kind of not touching it, letting them just kind of
It's
bang
kinda-
up
yeah, it's
against
like-
it, and they're kind of like, we can't lock it. Like there's nothing that we can do to like lock it, so let's just shut it and hopefully they don't get in.
Yeah.
And then once they kind of do it, they step away, and then I think our main character, who we can call the jerk.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna call him, either the a-hole or the jerk.
Yeah, because that's what he gets referenced as in the film.
Yes.
By another character. So the jerk kind of looks around and says, "I don't think they can't attack us if they don't see us. Like they only ever really attack us whenever they can look at us."
Mhm.
And so the pregnant woman gets this brilliant
G.
idea
Dude,
She's
that's
a
one of the
G,
biggest-
man.
to freaking spray water on the glass and grab newspaper and cover up the windows, and then all of a sudden
They can't
they
see.
walk away. They can't see.
Absolute G.
Yeah. As soon as I saw that take place, I was like, that's so freaking smart. And I appreciate that filmmakers and story writers can put like such a little detail like that into the script, but then have an audience member be like, dude, that's so good.
It's
Instead of
almost-
just letting it happen, you know?
It's almost like, she knew what she was doing. Like she was prepared. Like
Yeah,
she
like
waited for this whole.
like I
her
even
whole
think
life.
of like I even had the same reaction whenever I watched World War Z for the first time.
Love that
and
movie.
like like whenever he like times how long it takes for somebody to turn, or like putting the magazines on your arms, so
Dude.
that way like they can't bite you on your arms, and you can fend them off that way.
Yes.
Like little things like that, where I'm like, that makes sense. Like it's not just somebody running out into the ether of inevitably gonna die. You
Mhm.
know, like there's somebody that truly does want to survive and is going to take the means necessary in order to do so.
Mhm.
So,
Gotta be one of my favorite genres. I even like to this scene subtly communicates a lot about our main character as well, because you get this. It's so brief, the conflict between the the daughter and the ex-wife and all that stuff. It's so brief, but then you get to see like he has an opportunity to save the guy. I'm gonna call him the Brute or the Tank. He's a
Yeah.
freaking the MMA guy. He's
Yeah.
the most goated character in this movie.
yeah, he is.
He has an opportunity to save him and his pregnant wife,
Mm-hmm.
and yet he is closing the door on them.
Yep.
The most selfish thing you could do in this situation, and
Yeah.
he's doing it, and the
Yeah.
daughter is noticing.
Yep.
Like, it is a blatant example of his character on the inside, which
Yep.
is part of the reason why I like these zombie apocalypse movies anyways, because it's
Yeah.
a deeper look.
At who people are as a person.
Exactly.
Do you blame
It
him,
forces
though?
you. And this is our conversation.
I mean, listen, if you want to ask me, do I understand why he does what he does? I can understand it. Do I think that it's morally right?
It's not.
No.
Not even close.
But at that point, there's no morals.
I mean, you want to like act as humane as possible, I think, in any scenario.
I think there should be some.
Morals are the only thing that matter when a zombie apocalypse happens like that.
Yeah, because
Okay,
watch.
yeah, let me open the door for you, ma'am.
No, like watch.
Not like
one,
that.
Watch one way or another. If you were ever in a scenario like a zombie apocalypse, and you got the actions that you did to somebody else done to you, you would be pissed.
But I don't think
you
I
would
would
be
be in
pissed.
a scenario.
And this is what I want to say, because in another scene, there's an opportunity for the Brute to do exactly what Homeboy did to
Uh-huh.
him.
Yeah,
And he
And I
does it.
thought it was going to happen. I thought he was going to be like, no, you tried to lock me out.
So I'm gonna lock
Yeah,
you.
I'm going to lock you out. But he doesn't.
Yeah.
Out of the kindness of his guy's own heart, he's like, get in here. And
No, and I
know,
think what he does is, if we're gonna talk about that, are we gonna talk about that scene?
Oh, as a favorite scene? Maybe. I don't know if I have that.
Yeah, I had trouble
Yeah, I don't
with,
have.
with
I don't
putting
have
a lot
any
of favorite scenes.
scenes.
Most everything I have here is in Brum.
There's a
for
lot
sure.
of bro moments.
Yeah. But
I just
Yeah.
want to
So
say,
you would leave the pregnant lady. You'd say, "All right, see you later." You have no value to me because
if I know, if there's like 10 zombies, 15 zombies behind her, I'm shutting the door, bro.
you're shutting the door.
I'm sorry. Rest in peace.
Rest in
he was,
pieces.
about to see rest in piss.
I almost did. I almost did. I'm not gonna lie. Rest in peace. But like, one, you're gonna hold me behind. I'm sorry. Like,
Mm.
I get it. It's a pregnant lady. I feel bad for her. You're gonna die. You have a child.
Well, when you put it in context of the scene, he had ample opportunity to leave the door open. Would you follow suit, or would you hold the door? Like
Abe's the COO, dude.
Abe's
No,
the
no,
COO.
no.
It is, bro.
No, I'm not the CEO.
They're gonna come in here and infect us. This guy's infected.
No, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that.
Want to wring that fool's neck out.
I hate
dude.
that fool. I hate that fool.
me too.
I want to kill him, dude.
I
He's
hate
so
that fool.
upsetting.
Don't call me that fool. That's not me. I would never push you guys.
But you close the door.
If you're gonna hold me back.
If you're pregnant,
If you're gonna
Oh man,
if you're holding me back.
I couldn't
he's a
agree.
peacock. You gotta let him fly.
You're pregnant, bro. Imagine you're pregnant. She's not. She's what? 8 months pregnant? 9 months pregnant here? She has the belly. It's about to pop.
Yeah.
That's why you gotta care for her.
Yeah.
That's why she's at that much more of a disadvantage.
She needs extra help. And you have the
All
means
more-
to help.
All for more reason to be like, you gotta understand. Like, let me survive. Like, that's when you.
That's selfish.
No,
Yes, it is.
It
Yes,
just
it is.
is, flat
At
out.
that point, you're like,
So
listen.
you're gonna say,
listen,
if
I matter
it's
more than
or
you.
If it's you or the pregnant lady, you're choosing the pregnant lady.
I'm gonna try to help the pregnant lady as much as I can.
yeah.
As
You
much as I
gotta
possibly
sacrifice
can.
I would not close the door in front of her
I would-
face.
Yeah. Like, that's the thing. Like, literally what you just said is like, yo, you gotta understand. At that point, you're saying, listen, I'm more important than you. Like I can probably make it out of this. You can't. So I'm just gonna kill you.
She can't.
You would be effectively responsible for that woman's death.
Yes.
No, I wouldn't.
Yes, you would.
No,
you
I
would.
wouldn't.
You killed her if you didn't try to help her.
I didn't kill her. The zombies did.
You might as well shoot her. Like that. You might as
It's
well.
more
just kill
humane,
her.
I'd agree. I'd say, because now she's walking around zombified
Yeah.
with a baby in her stomach. I don't even know how that works.
Yeah.
Good thing we don't have to go through that.
Yeah. Seriously.
'Cause people are better.
I don't know. But I'm not saying I would leave people behind though. She's the caboose. She's the end of the bus. She's the end of the train, bro.
So first chance you got, you'd leave her.
Listen.
Or like if she trips, you're not going back for her.
Why do I gotta do it?
I'm just saying, like if you were next to her, like if it was you, it was between you leaving
And
her
I
or
see
her.
a zombie right there.
Like I'm saying, it's got to be reasonable. I understand, like if it's like obviously it's all like subjective your judgments. If it's like if she is gonna die, no matter what you do,
If
I
you know
understand
there's
closing
a
the
chance
door.
that you're gonna get bit by saving her.
how big's the chance though?
You know,
You've got to rule that. Like in that situation with the
50-50
train car,
chance.
it is
Make it
so
a fair
obvious
chance.
that she could make it.
Yeah.
It is obvious to me that they would make it, but he's preemptively closing the door because he doesn't want to get bit. Like
Yeah.
he's just so
I
scared.
don't want to get bit either, bro.
But my judgment says, you know what I mean? It's like it's more of
Yeah.
I don't know how to
get
explain
it. I
it.
get it though. I get it though. Like, I get.
This
she's
is the
pregnant.
ultimate litmus test for.
It's gotta be right. Like,
I get she's.
are you
pregnant.
Negan
This
or
is
are
the-
you Rick?
Yeah, this is the same question of like, do you put your shopping cart in the shopping cart return,
No,
or
if
do
you,
you, or do
no,
you
I
leave
work,
it?
I
Do you
work
leave
for
it in the
I'm
parking
gonna,
lot?
I work for a grocery store. If you don't return your cart, your mom's a hoe. I'm gonna say that right now.
If you don't
Return
open
your
the
cart.
door for the pregnant lady,
Yep.
your mom's a hoe.
No, why? I'm not gonna die.
That's the moral thing to do.
It is.
But my life is not at risk.
It's still the moral thing.
But
though.
my life is not at risk.
You
I
still
will
have
lo-
a moral
I would
obligation.
love to help the lovely lady out the door. I'll help her out the groceries with her groceries.
Yeah, but
She's
but
pregnant.
that doesn't.
That's the moral thing to do, right?
No,
That's the moral. That's the moral thing to do to help the pregnant lady.
but
with her
it's
groceries.
hardly a
That's the
sacrifice.
moral thing to do, right?
It's hardly
That's
a
the be-
sacrifice.
That's the moral.
greatest
thing to do. Tell me
rewards-
right now. That's the moral thing to do to help her out with her groceries.
if they require
Okay, your
it.
life is not in danger. The life is in danger. Are you gonna help her out with her groceries?
all the more. Yes,
Because your life is in danger.
if her life was in danger, I'm helping her.
You're
Listen,
crazy.
If I have the
Listen.
means to
I'm
help,
not getting paid for that, bruh.
see,
I ain't no firefighter.
That's COO right there, bro.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is, bro.
No,
How
it's
is this situation gonna make me
It's-
money?
it's not like COO. It's like jerk.
Yeah.
No,
It's like the jerk.
No, it's not because it's life or death. Life or death.
you won't try. Is my thing. Are you gonna try?
They're
No.
coming towards me, bro.
So no.
You're not gonna try.
I don't think so.
There you
I
go.
can't.
I would try. Is my thing. I would try. Or if I had seen the person, I'd be like, "You're an a-hole for not trying,"
Yeah.
and I wouldn't want them to leave
I'm
me.
sweating right now.
You
You
gotta
got me
be.
heated.
That's a good. I mean, this is really this, and it
But
forces us.
I'm not saying it's bad.
It forces us to confront these issues.
Because these zombies haul ass.
They do.
They do.
Excuse me. They run so fast.
They are
bro.
an absolute threat.
A pregnant lady. She's gonna waddle like a penguin, bro. She can't run.
You say that, and she's
I
the
mean,
only
she
one
proved
to
herself
survive.
the whole time. Yeah. It's true.
It's a movie. Anything happens.
Yeah,
in a movie.
fact. I don't know. Good thing we'll never be put in these positions.
I guess we'll never know.
Cross our fingers. Hopefully, never.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because
This guy.
we go to the scene where you saying he almost does it. The brute almost does it to the a-hole.
Mm-hmm.
But then it goes to.
Well, okay, let's give us context. Because they going through this train, they're making their way. They have some solace. They get through it all.
Yeah.
And then they finally get up to, I forget the place. It's like
It was
Cheong or something?
Yeah. Or Daehong or
Something
something like that.
starts
Right.
with a D.
Yes.
But they're like, oh, go there. The military is there.
Yeah.
They're gonna help you out.
Ooh, another question. Another question and another reason why he's a jerk. He gets very solid intel to not go to the main.
Why is that bad?
To not go to the
Your
main
homies
corridor.
are looking out for you.
Why wouldn't you want to tell anybody? You're actively
You're
leading
sending them
everybody
to
else
their
to their
death.
death.
Like
Like-
you have the information. Go
What
east.
is this limited resources, bruh?
East is safe. East is safe.
Limited
and you say,
resources.
"Peace out, guys. I don't know. You can go that way. It's safe that way. I'm going this way."
Yeah. And homeless dude takes note of it and says, "I heard you on the phone call.
Yeah.
I'm going with you."
But he's a goat and doesn't say anything.
See, that's sketch.
Even the
does it say
kid. No, this is intrinsic. Even the
Even-
kid
Even
is
the
like,
kid's like,
"Dad."
yes, I'm gonna go tell them because the kid feels good with them because the dad has been an a-hole to the kid the whole life, and those two adults, the brute and the pregnant lady, have been nice to that girl from the get-go because they're strangers.
They're good people.
They're
They're
good
people. Yes, but I'm saying
like,
They're good
like,
people.
listen, this is even the thing too. The
I-
brute was
I-
even before he even met the girl. He was willing to let her go to the bathroom first before him,
Mm-hmm.
and was like, "Is it urgent?" And she was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Okay, go down there.
Yeah.
And go to the bathroom over here. There's 2 people in here going to the bathroom."
I didn't realize what he was talking about,
Yeah.
but now I do.
Yeah.
I didn't until now.
The wife of the baby,
Wife
yeah.
and baby.
Yeah.
But then the wife goes. Everybody's to kind of back up. The a-hole guy. He shuts the door, and the wife kind of defends him and says, "Everybody's scared."
That's why it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's hard.
Yeah.
So then I think when the brute guy is doing it again, he thinks of what the wife said, and he was like, maybe he was just scared. Because
Yeah.
again,
true.
your instinct is also going to be like, let me close this. I'm not trying to die. You're not. Your first thought is not going to be, I'm thinking of everybody else.
Mhm.
Yeah, it really just depends, man, on being in that situation and really going through it.
If
Who are you gonna be? It's a question you gotta face.
It's true.
But they get to this place, and he goes east. They go down. The reveal is so sick.
Yeah.
Because
this is crazy.
isn't it sick?
Yeah.
In it,
It's a whole bro moment for me. This whole scene where they're walking down the stairs, and you see all the fatigues.
dude, and
and
it
then
feels like yes,
they got
Well,
some
yeah,
help.
You see,
Yeah, they got
you're
some
like,
help.
oh yeah.
and then you just see him like shambling.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Well, because because you see the shield a couple steps up, and like you said, you see all the people just standing there. I think it's the I think it's the army with the shield
Holding them
holding
back.
them off.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
that's what the line is. But then we get the reveal, and they're just all standing there, and they're dead because they don't. They also hear very well,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and so they hear like them talking because they're just casually talking, and they're like, "We're safe." Like, oh, thank gosh. Like,
Yeah.
It's a
I feel-
bloodbath.
And they turn
And
around.
they
and
turn
just
around.
Slaughtered.
and
Dude, it's tough to watch.
Again, and
Dude, isn't the brute the goat too? He
Oh,
freaking
that-
takes
I
his
was-
wife up and goes.
I was just about to mention that too
Starts
right now.
running
though.
over.
That's a
Dude.
goated move.
I love
But
him.
again, you guys are gonna be like, oh, but you don't care about the wife to close the door. But that's a goated move for him to think, like,
Well,
oh, dude, I'm gonna pick her up. Like I'm still rooting for them.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's why I really enjoyed this scene the whole time. Is like they just got out of what seemed like hell, only to get thrust into an even deeper circle of it.
Dude.
You know, and like for a moment they had peace, and now they're right back into the squandry of things. You know,
And then when the homeless dude, he's running down the hall.
Yeah, it's almost like it's
it's like
hopeless
hope.
either way.
Well, at first it seems like hope because he sees the guy in the fatigues and is like, help, help.
Yeah.
And then right as he's running up there, he realizes, oh, this guy's a little bloody.
Uh-huh.
And then he sees another dude just run out of nowhere and fall on the
Dude,
ground.
the way that their eyes kind of change kind of freaks me out.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah.
It's
But yeah, as soon as they see that, they're like, slow mo.
Right.
Isn't
start
it so
running.
sick? Because it looks like the daughter is gonna die. It
Oh, yeah.
looks like it's so.
That was this moment too. Whenever freaking the brute comes out of nowhere and just goes, and like hits one of the zombies in the face. I was like, this guy's the goat, dude. I freaking love this guy.
Yes,
It-
dude.
For a brief second, this little girl's about to die. Homeboy comes in, flying fist, takes the dude out, and they like get her behind the glass, and the jerk, you know, is struggling with the zombie and like grabs a nearby book and puts it in the zombie's mouth so he can't bite him,
that.
and they're struggling and all this stuff, and it's super good. And while they're sitting there holding the door, you know, putting bats and nightsticks in between the handles to try to get them to kind of like barricade the door somewhat. That was where I had my moment where I was like, they're not gonna let him in, like he was trying to do
Well, yeah,
with
'cause
them.
it
Yeah.
doesn't.
You know, it's because
literally-
they're looking for payback. They're gonna give him be like, yeah, you did this to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but they're more altruistic,
They
which I appreciate, and they let him in real quick, and then they sit there and try to hold that door shut while they're trying to
Lock
lock it in
it, dude.
place.
Ugh.
And it's like you see. Oh, it's so nerve wracking.
Yeah,
I love scenes like this.
yeah. And while they're trying to do that, a couple people break off and go to the captain of the train, the
Tell 'em to
conductor,
go.
and they're like, there's zombies all over the place. Like, they're infected all over this place. We need to leave. We need to go somewhere. And the COO guy is like, we need to just go to Busan and don't stop.
Mhm.
Like, it's supposed to be safe there. There's, you know, they haven't quarantined it off yet. Let's just go there. And he's the only one that didn't go, you know, check it out, the whole main square area. And so, of course, he's the only guy there, and he's just like, yo, let's go. Let's just do it now.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the attendants is like, no, dude, we still have people here. Like, we need to get all of these people onto the train
Yeah.
if we can. And
But then
what?
I would be again. I don't want to be called the COO. Don't call me the COO. I kind of side with him though, because you don't know how quick they're gonna quarantine that off.
Quarantine what off?
Busan.
Busan. Yeah, and that's his argument, is like, we should get there as fast as possible because we don't know when they're going to close it. That's his argument. And I understand where he's coming up from that aspect, but he's acting so selfishly. He could care less about everybody else.
Yeah.
Like, whenever he's seen those old ladies trying to get on, he's like, let's go. And they're like, no, dude, we need to try to get these people on board. We need to try and save them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even the old lady knew it was time for her to go.
She was. I mean, she's defeated. It was
What
hard
do you
for.
mean she was defeated? She didn't. It seemed like she didn't even care in the beginning.
With the two old ladies,
Yeah.
her sister.
Yeah.
They cared. That's the whole reason why she did what she did. Kind of like in the middle act.
Yeah.
But speaking of this, separation of people, I love how just the plot details of it. Like, there's two important groups of people separated by zombies.
Yeah.
And I love that it presents us a really unique situation where it's like, okay, well, they're in this car. They need to go to their wife in this car and then make it back to the safety.
Yeah.
And it is just, these are some of the most tense scenes
Yeah.
ever.
This is where my whole favorite scene comes into play.
Okay.
Because whenever they start to recognize, like, we got split up, the jerk gets split up from his daughter, the
Mhm.
brute gets separated from his pregnant wife, the two elderly sisters get split up from one another, and they have this moment where they're like, okay, they're in car 11, we're in car
9.
8,
Yeah.
or 9 or something like that, which means we're smack dab in the middle of 3 or 4 cars full of infected people. How are we going to get to them without dying? And they bring in the baseball player, you know, and he's got his baseball bat. And then luckily the brute, like while he was running, picked up a shield and like nightstick and, you know, was able to hop onto the train. And he gives that to the jerk, and they kind of wrap their arms up and stuff like that. And the brute's like, all right, I'm gonna take point. And he kind of takes a little jab at the jerk and is like, you're a fund manager, so you're used to taking advantage of useless people. And, you know, like,
Bloodsucker.
that was
he
the
calls him.
moment.
yeah. And he's like, so you're going to go in the back. And he's like, you know, you're going to fend off any attacks from the back if they ever happen. And then, you know, baseball player is going to be in the middle of us.
Mhm.
And at first, like, they're fighting their way through
Dude.
these couple of cars. And at first I was like, this is crazy that like they have the determination and the bravery to like face these things head on and just like are punching them like in The Last of Us,
Yeah.
you know, and you know, just going through it, ripping through a couple of cars. And then this is where like we also get like really important details about how the zombies act and all
Mhm.
this stuff, and recognizing that like when they go into tunnels and it's dark, they can't see out, but then whenever there's light introduced, that's when they can see. And eventually, whenever there's another scene, whenever they go through tunnels and it's dark and they can't see, but they can really hear, you
Mhm.
know, and like all these balls drop out of the ball bag and like tumble all over the floor, and they like rush to it real quick. I even loved the scene whenever they get to the car where Homeboy's confronted with all of his old friends.
Yes.
And he doesn't
And
want to
he's
do
like,
anything.
dude, I don't want to kill them because they're my friends. Like, these were literally my teammates.
yeah.
Like this sucks. But like
And they even notice it too.
they notice it, and it gets in a situation where like they almost die
Yeah.
because he doesn't help. And
Well, yeah, but I kind of like it because it shows it that he doesn't. They get to show that they don't let him hit his teammates
Mm.
yeah,
because he doesn't end up hitting any of his teammates,
yeah,
which
Yeah.
I like.
yeah. It's that was a tough scene, and I was like, oh, he's not gonna do it because they're his teammates.
Yeah.
That sucks.
I
And-
get it though. It would be hard. It's like walking in and seeing like your best friend
Yeah,
as a zombie. You're like,
I
it
think-
sucks.
I-
like
I-
I'm
If
gonna
I saw
clock
you guys,
you, but
I, no,
like
if
I'm crying while I'm
think
doing
if I
it.
saw you guys as a zombie, I think
I
I'm
would
just gonna
suck.
turn. I think
Yeah.
I'm turn the other way. I
yeah,
don't think I can do it.
That's tough.
yeah. It is tough.
I think about like going to my like if the zombie apocalypse happened and I went to my parents' house to save them and I see my mom like, I'd be like,
Yeah,
I would be
of course,
crying.
man, because you have to kill her.
No, I
You
I
know?
wouldn't.
I would.
I would too.
I mean, because the experience that you had with that person is like, it feels like it's there, but now it's actively trying to hurt you.
yeah,
You know?
I'd be crying.
Yeah.
That's all I know. So I totally empathize with this baseball player.
Yeah. But then they eventually meet up with the daughter and the pregnant wife and the elderly sister, and you know they getting a couple more near-death situations where
Mhm.
they like lock themselves in bathrooms, and eventually they make it all the way back to that original cart. And this is like another scene where they're like trying to open up the door, they can't do it, and then we recognize on the other side the door has been like tied off with people's neckties and shirts and like all this stuff to where like if anyone tries to open it up, it's not going anywhere.
No.
And it's a really good scene. I don't know if I kind of feel weird calling it a scene because it's more so a sequence.
Yeah,
of
it's quite a
events.
long.
It's a
event.
big chunk of the movie.
Yeah.
But I just lumped it in one of my favorite scene category because the entire time I was like, this is insane. This is
Yeah.
crazy. This is such high stakes, it feels like, and I'm loving every second of it. It was great.
Oh, it's so frustrating because, you know, you finally get to safety, and people behind they're so selfish that like we lose my favorite character because of it.
Yeah.
You know, like if they had just let them in,
Yeah.
he would have survived.
Yeah.
And we didn't. We would have had to go through the heartbreaking scene of seeing him pretty much sacrifice himself
Yeah.
to save his wife and to save everyone else.
Yeah.
But
You know, it might be in your bro moments, but it's my favorite scene because it is so like.
It made me cry.
Did it?
It made me cry.
Okay.
Like when he's holding the door and he puts his hand on the inside for just a brief second, and that one zombie on the floor goes "Ah," and bites his hand. I was like, no, dude, no way. And like he's sitting there still trying to hold it, and the jerk is holding the zombie's back with the baseball bat, and he kind of looks at him and goes, "You got to take care of her.
Yeah.
Like you've got to make sure that she's safe."
the words that
Go.
what he says is what makes me tear
Yeah,
up.
and for context, because it hits so much harder when you know the context.
Mm-hmm.
They the
Sleepy.
wife kind of gives the baby in her belly a nickname and calls it Sleepy, and so she's eating all these little like trolley like sour gummy worms, and she offers one to the daughter, and she's like, "Oh, you want one of Sleepy's snacks?" And she's like,
I low-key kind of thought it was like melatonin or something. Because
"Oh, okay."
I was like, I think that, for a second I thought these people are like, oh, this kid's gonna be annoying on this train. Like,
Mm.
I'm gonna put this kid to sleep. Like, I was low-key nervous about that.
Oh, okay. But she eventually hands her and offers her a part of her gummy snack, and then she recognizes like who's Sleepy, and she's like, "Oh, it's the nickname for the baby in our tummy."
Because
and
this
all
freaking guy won't.
Because he won't consider a name yet or
Yeah.
anything like that. And whenever he has his send off, he kind of looks back at his wife, and they're staring at one another. She's crying, and he just says her name and says, I forget exactly what he does say, but he says something to the effect of like, "Remember the name, like remember our
He
child's
says the
name."
name. He says.
He says like,
I can't remember what he says.
I'm gonna see if it's in quotes.
I didn't see it pop up on the subtitles, but he says like, "Remember the name" or something.
Oh, okay.
And dude, at that point I looked over at Alexa and we were just freaking crying.
Yeah, I was tearing up there because it's,
He's
that
the
is-
best.
Yeah.
He's
it's
the best.
such, I didn't expect him to die either.
Yeah.
Like almost all the people that I started to like, I didn't expect to die.
Mm. Yeah. It's a great scene.
Heartbreaking
Tearjerker.
scene, yeah. I had the scene where they finally get into the place. They close the door, and then they're shunned.
Oh yeah.
Like that is,
For a stupid reason.
it's the COO.
Yes, he doesn't. He makes up a lie.
He does. He says.
yeah,
he's
because
afflicted.
Homeboy comes in and freaking
socks him in his face. He said,
And
"Why'd
it-
you do that?"
Yeah, and it feels
Because-
It
good.
doesn't. it?
Because if it wasn't for him, our guy
Homeboy would have
would've been alive.
survived.
He would have.
And
that's
he
why
tells him that. He's like, "That guy would have survived if you didn't do what you did. Why did you do what you did?" And then he starts making up a lie like,
Well,
"He's
he-
infected.
yeah,
I
he
saw
lo-
it in his eyes."
He looked scared
Yeah.
and didn't know what to say. And like
Yeah.
you said, he says,
And they eventually all start being like, "You need to go over here. Leave us. Leave us."
yeah. They're like, anybody who just came in needs to go out.
Dude, and it's like you see the look of our protagonist's eyes when he's just like, we went through hell to get here, and this is how we're being treated. Like
yeah.
it just is like a soul crushing experience for him.
Mhm.
He's getting all teared up, and it's just it sucks to see them shunned.
Yeah.
I question their their reasoning. Like, I feel like they're sending him to a safer place. Wouldn't they, who's already there, go to the safer place? You know what I mean? There's like
yeah, because they kind of like pass through them.
yeah, and it's almost like, well, there's like you'd want to be as far away from the zombies as possible.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
which is
I
what
don't
I was.
know.
I was like, okay, where's your logic? But
I don't know.
it wouldn't give if they did follow my logic. We wouldn't get the most satisfying scene possible
Yeah.
when the grandma or the
Yeah.
old lady sees her zombified sister
Yeah.
and is like, "You are always giving people. You are always putting people above yourself. Why would you do that?
Why?
Like
Yeah.
everybody here's a piece of crap." And she
Yeah.
looks back and is like, "What a load of crap." Because they're all like yelling at each other, telling "shut up" and
Yeah.
locking the people out, and she realizes
These people deserve it.
that
Yeah.
we
Like-
deserve it.
Yeah.
Like we deserve this.
Yeah.
And it was just so satisfying for her to open those doors up.
Yeah.
As much as it sucks to see everyone die, it just felt so rewarding.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is a moment too where like when that scene did happen, I was watching and being like, dude, that COO got it.
Mhm.
Like,
Yes.
thank God, because that guy sucked. Like, he's the worst. I did not like him. And yeah, for a good long while for the film, we're like, this guy got what he got, right? And then we get the reveal that him and his freaking attendant buddy that he's been manipulating this entire time hid in a bathroom.
Yeah.
You know, and
Makes
they
me
ended
so
up
mad.
surviving.
I when I saw it, I said, "There's no way." I literally said that out loud when I was watching, because I was like, "There's so many people," and of course, these two, the assistant one sucks because he is being manipulated, and is just doing what the COO says.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Of course he gets saved," and then I'm like, again, of course the CEO gets saved too, and it's like, I was so upset.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a satisfying scene I wanted to talk about.
Yeah. But any other favorite scenes here? Because all the ones that I've got down are in the Bromoan category.
I think we can talk about them then, especially that ending. Ooh.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, if that's it for our favorite scenes, let's move into best quotes.
I only have one.
Okay.
And it was when the little girl, like when they switch paths, and the little girl's like, "What, Dad? What are you doing? You got to go tell them too." And he's like, "No, we got to think about ourselves right now." And she said, "You only care about yourself. That's why Mom left." I was like,
Dude.
"Oh."
What a gut punch, man. Especially for the dad, dude.
And so for the kid to be so young to say that
I
too.
know it was savage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
don't have really any quotes.
Okay,
Yeah, me either.
that's fair.
All right. Let's move into the bro moments then. My first one was at the intro, the homie hitting that deer.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Seeing the deer
Get back
Yeah.
up.
reanimate.
Yeah.
And it was kind of, I kind of was gross because the deer had that gross eye.
Mm.
And I think when I see the zombie close up with the eyes, I wasn't a fan.
Yeah. But now watching it in the movie in its entirety, I kind of look back on that and I'm like, how did the virus
Start?
get with the deer?
I'm not sure.
You know, because it wasn't bitten by anything; it just got hit, and then
It had to be a
and then
test
and then
because
it
I wanted-
reanimated.
Because I wanted to ask, because at the end of one of the scenes, you get from the analyst, it was linked to us, like.
one of our biggest shareholders or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, because in the intro of the film we get.
But why does
introduced to our
that
character.
matter?
He just gets told to sell all of his shares in this certain company or something like that, and they just do it.
Why does that
But-
matter though? That should matter with.
It's more of like guilt, I think, especially for the guy calling Kim. I think it was his name, his
Yeah.
analyst or whatever. Because it's like he's like, was I to blame? Because
Yeah.
they're pretty much like supporting financially this business that quote unquote caused the issues or whatever. And I could see him feeling guilty, like we caused this.
Yeah.
So he's like, was our involvement in this business inevitably causing the zombie
Mhm.
apocalypse?
Yeah.
So I just basically see guilt
Okay.
coming out, but I don't know if there's any more.
Okay.
I had the two Wii's.
Dude, yeah, getting the
Yeah.
same gift.
Two Wii's.
Yeah.
That's garbage.
That sucked. I was like, dude, this guy sucks, man. This freaking.
I
He's
know.
not a good dad.
At first, you think like, oh, that's an ungrateful kid, because
Yeah.
it's a freaking Wii
Yeah.
with Mario.
With Mario.
And then she looks up, and she's like,
Got the exact same one.
And it
on
wasn't
chil-
even for her birthday that she got it. She said she got it for
Children's Day.
yeah.
Yeah.
that's tough.
Yeah.
So she's had it for a while.
Yeah. I saw that and was just like, damn, this poor girl, dude. Like, that sucks.
And she's like, I want to go home. I want to
Yeah.
go to my mom.
Yeah.
You suck.
Yeah.
I put down when the girl crawled into the train. That was a bro moment for me because I was not expecting it to start like that.
Mm.
For sure.
Yeah. Another one we kind of already talked about was putting the newspaper on the door.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
thought
yeah.
that was just super smart.
The military. I really did not expect the military to be infected. That
Yeah.
threw me off so much because
Yeah.
I was rooting for quarantine and the military because I thought this movie was gonna be so different.
Mm-hmm.
But then I should have thought Train to Busan,
Going to Busan, man.
Yeah.
being on a train.
Yeah, all the other ones that I have, we've kind of already talked about. Other than whenever they arrive to, whenever they're on the train and they end up getting blocked, there's a train blockage on the tracks. And the conductor tells the people surviving on the train that, we can't go any further with this train, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out. I'm going to try to secure us another one. I'm going to be on the far left track.
Mm-hmm.
So once I have secured that train, you guys need to make it out there safely, and then we will get all the way to Busan. And so, he ends up trying to go out and get onto another train. He gets there, and he starts it up, and people start to get off of the train and are doing so safely. And that COO guy, dude, they're him and the attendant are still trapped in that freaking bathroom. He kind of peeks his head out, and he sees that there's still some people out there, and he kind of closes it back, and the attendant is like, "Is the coast clear?" And he goes, "Yeah, you go first." And he kind of opens up the door, and there's a dude right there with his back turned. He freaking pushes him into the zombie,
bait,
giving him
pretty
freaking
much.
bait, and then runs out the door. And if there was any more reason as to why this guy should be dead, like, this is just adding on like to his just list of sins.
Mm-hmm.
And he's doing that, and then as he's running out, zombies hear the commotion, and they start running towards him, and he doesn't even make the effort to like shut the door. He just leaves the door open and just starts running for his life, and runs through a couple other trains, gets all the zombies that are there as well up and looking around and seeing what's going on, and then leads them to our survivors.
The baseball player and his girlfriend.
Yes, dude.
And it frustrates me so much
Yeah.
to see them go from this guy.
Yes.
The way he does it too, like he throws the girl back, she gets bit, he leaves, and then the guy's like, "I'm not gonna leave you," and then she bites him. It's just
that was a bro moment for me too, that whole relationship. Because in the beginning, he acted so hard like he didn't want her.
he did.
Like she's like all over him. She wants him, but he's like, "No, I don't want you." And then
he's just putting up a front.
I think so too.
Yeah. Because we get to see his true intentions and his true feelings for her in this moment. And, he pays the price for it, unfortunately.
Yeah. Unfortunate.
Yeah. What about that whole scene whenever I thought it was insane, but whenever the conductor gets to that train, he's starting it, and he sees Homeboy, so the COO being like, hey, and he is like, "Oh, man, I hope he can run fast enough." And then you see the COO trip and, twist his ankle. In that moment, I was like,
he said, "Ghost ride the whip, bruh."
Yes.
This guy is about to get what he deserves, right? And the conductor's like, "Oh, crap, let me get out and go help him." So he gets out and is like, "Let me pick this guy up." He throws him down,
Dude.
lets the conductor, the only guy who knows how to properly run this train, get eaten. And then he gets up into the train and, is bon voyage. I'm going to leave you guys to it. See you later. And as that's happening, the jerk and his daughter and the pregnant lady are sitting there running, trying to catch the train with this horde of zombies after him. And when they finally get onto the train, and all of them are
hanging on like a trail of 100
and there's
of them.
you just see this kite almost
Yeah.
forming on the back of this train. It was insane. And they're just crawling over each other, just trying to get on this thing, and Homeboy's down there stomping on their hands,
Dude,
trying to
honestly,
get them out.
it was making me mad how hard they were holding on.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, come on, but they don't feel anything, so of course they can hold on for their dear life.
Yeah.
So I was just like,
Yeah.
It's
It was
tough.
crazy.
Yeah. I even think about the whole scene when the dad gets bit.
Yeah.
well, yeah, that's a bro moment for me too, because we see the COO take over the train and make it
And
to,
he's slowly turning.
and
Yeah.
we see that he turns into a zombie, and he's slowly turning into a zombie, which blows my mind because I did not expect him to get bit.
Yeah. He must have gotten bit in his scuffle that he had with the conductor and all that. But
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I hated that. Glad that he survived, but the dad obviously is like, okay, I understand what I have to do. Sit them there, tell them this is the break. I love you, but I gotta go.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was so beautiful when he's slowly turning and his eyes are glazing over, and
Yeah.
the last, it just feels so I don't know. It's almost like that flash of life before
Yeah.
you die or before you're taken over,
Mhm.
where he's remembering the first time he's touching his daughter as she was born, or like
Yeah.
her like little feet,
Yeah.
as a baby,
And
you
he's
know?
like smiling
Yeah.
and laughing and crying. And I was crying at this moment too, dude.
Yeah,
I
I
look
teared up
over
here,
I look
too.
over at Alexa and I was crying. And then we looked at one another and we were like, a zombie movie has no business
Literally,
making me cry this hard, bro.
There's no reason why a zombie movie should be making me tear up.
It's good, man. You
Yeah.
care about the characters.
Yeah. It was tough.
There's something so beautiful about it.
And I have to say, the child actor that plays the
Dude,
daughter,
she's screaming.
dude, she is phenomenal. Like, it felt like I was watching like true grief, like
Yes.
Yeah.
a child truly being ripped away from their parent and like fighting tooth and nail to try to get to them.
Yeah.
It was really convincing.
She was scary. If I heard that yelling, like outside, I'd be scared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what a beautiful story of a girl trying everything she can to be pushed away from her father to
Only to be wanting his arms.
to not want to let go.
Yeah.
It is just it's crushing,
Yeah.
which is why I think it works so well.
Yeah.
And then I have the ending when the military men hear the kill them
Yeah.
over the intercom. I was like, no.
Yeah.
And then she's singing this song about I'll see them again.
Aloha oi.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, and it's the one song that she couldn't finish because her dad wasn't there
Because she
to-
couldn't see him.
she couldn't see him, so she didn't want to finish the song.
Yeah.
And now we get to hear it in its full context, and that's what saves her.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's good.
It's good.
It is
Ending
good.
is solid.
Yeah, very good ending. All right, if that's it for the bro moments, let's move into facts with the bros.
Yeah, let me hit you with the budget real quick. To make this movie, it was about 10 million South Korean yen, which is about $7.6 million. And it made opening weekend $284,000. It grossed in U.S. and Canada at $2.1 million, but worldwide it made $92.7 million.
Insane.
It is insane.
That's what I'm talking about.
And real quick, I'll hit you with another budget fact. Is Train to Busan became the highest grossing Korean film in Malaysia, Hong Kong, and Singapore from that.
That's crazy.
It's awesome.
It's a big movie.
That's
Mhm.
a big movie.
Yeah, it's crazy, and I've always heard the praises of this movie talked about, like I mentioned before previously. But one of the guys that really loves this movie is Edgar Wright.
Mm.
He's done Baby Driver, and he's also done Scott Pilgrim versus the World and Shaun of the Dead.
Hmm.
And he was also a big fan of this film as well, and he recommended the film in a tweet and called it, quote, the best zombie movie I've seen in forever.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I've also heard people like Quentin Tarantino talk about the movie as well and how much they liked it as well.
Oh,
So-
cool. I had read that. It was super interesting to me. The movie, since it was so popular in South Korea, there was instant talks of a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
But the director immediately shut it down, and it was like, no, we're not doing a sequel. The funny thing is that there is a sequel.
Yeah, it's called like Peninsula or
It's
something,
called
right?
Peninsula, and it came out in 2020, but I don't think, I've heard that it's not good.
Oh, okay.
So I've never watched it.
Yeah,
Did you know there's a prequel to it?
No, I read that. I was
Dude,
like, I want to
and
watch
it's
that.
And it's an animated prequel. It's by the same director, and it was released a month before, less than a month after Train to Busan.
That's
Yeah.
so cool.
And I know that is more what the director is comfortable with, because Train to Busan was his first live action film. And he had mostly only ever directed animated films up until Train to Busan came out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Another record here. I had read somewhere that the film had recorded more than 11 million moviegoers in South Korea alone. And the previous record for recorded moviegoers was 10 million, and this one surpassed it. So
By another million.
yeah. So
Which
I don't know
is
if it's, if another movie has since then surpassed it, but yeah, as of right now, Train to Busan holds that record for most people in the theater to see this movie.
Heck yeah.
So
That's pretty cool. The last fact I had was that the word zombie is used only once.
Yeah, and
Which
it's in a
is kinda
text.
cool.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a hit word or
Yeah,
hot word online or whatever.
And
Yeah.
if they do ignore, you have to ignore the word.
Yeah, but it's usually like in movies like this, it's like zombies. They have never existed.
yeah,
That's the only reason why people die so easily.
yeah, yeah. My last one was that there's currently a remake being made as of right now. It got delayed because of the whole writer strike and everything, but it was originally set to come out in October of 2023.
Oh wow.
And in the remake, they're going to be changing the destination to New York and presumably the country to the United States and the language to English and so on and so forth. But the new title is supposed to be The Last Train to New York, and it's going to be directed by a man named, I'm probably going to butcher his last name, Timo Tajanto, and it's supposed to be written by Gary Doberman. Names that I haven't heard of. I just briefly looked up the director, and I know he's an Indonesian director. So I don't know if they'll be able to live up to the standard that it's set. Because usually that never really pans out well. I'm already thinking of like the English version of Old Boy
And it's
with
not
Josh
as,
Brolin,
Yeah.
and it's just.
Or funny game.
Yeah, like they never really pan out to like. They never live up to the hype of the original one. The original's always better. So, if you want to see this movie in its all of its glory, I would recommend watching this one before checking out an English version of it or something like that, and watch it in its original dubbing.
Yes.
Watch it subtitled, not dubbed.
No, absolutely not. I mean,
That should be across the board for everything.
is
If
that
you
what's
wa-
next? Is that the next category? What didn't work?
No, what did work? So if that's it, what?
No, what didn't work is the next category.
Oh,
What
yeah.
didn't work is next.
So that's it for what Facts
Immediately-
with the bros.
Yeah, I'm done.
Unless
with
you
that.
got everything. Yeah.
I feel like I can't do how you do it.
No, the subbing here is just terrible. Absolutely awful. At least on the Peacock version. It starts immediately with it's subtitled and also English dubbed, and the voice acting could not stand it.
Okay.
I don't believe they feel insanely stiff,
Mm.
and the emotions really don't come out through at all.
Mhm.
And I had even noticed too the subtitles were different than what the English dubs were saying.
Okay.
So it's just it was just a complete mess in my opinion. And
Okay.
I immediately I tried it, and I told Lisa, I said, no, I can't do this. And then it's crazy that I switched it, and it was immediately when the I think his mom was like, you didn't try hard enough for your marriage.
Mm.
Like, you should try harder. And in the English, I was like, this sucks. And I immediately switched it, and I was like, oh, this is hitting. Like, I immediately felt a difference.
Yeah.
So I would not recommend the sub.
Yeah. I should say that like goes across the board for any foreign
Yeah, I think you
media.
should just watch
like,
it in
at
its
all.
original.
Like
format with
like
subtitles.
anyone that is like a big anime watcher knows you don't watch the dub version, you watch the sub. And it's just because there's subtleties in the voice acting in the original language that get lost with translation, and it just doesn't hit right. And I think the only thing that didn't really work for me for this movie was some of the CGI.
CGI, yeah.
Some of the CGI just was
Tough.
doo-doo. like some of it was bad.
Yeah.
And like I would notice, but I don't know. I sort of give it some lenience because like there are some great visual effects here as well. Like there are some areas where CGI gets used really effectively, and I also think of visual effects being makeup and
Dude, the zombies look great.
the zombies, they look awesome.
They're
Like
I'm kind of scared of them.
yeah, they look awesome, and like even whenever the people are getting turned, like they really go for it, which I
Yeah.
really like. Like I'm thinking of that one army zombie that like falls from the top of the train car down and his arms all broken.
Yeah, and he's going like
and he's all like they really go for it. Or like people who are turning actively, like their bodies like contort in certain ways, and they really sell it, and I really enjoy it. But
CGI.
yeah, there is some points in the CGI where I'm like, that looks bad.
Yeah.
That
It is tough.
yeah.
I don't know if it was my version but there was, to me, I thought the subtitles went quick, so it was hard for me to read, and so I did find myself pausing it a little bit and rewinding it sometimes, and it was only towards the beginning of the film, and And I actually ended up renting it. I just because I didn't have any platforms and I didn't want to watch ads. I rented it on Apple, but it was just like it would talk and it would show up, but like maybe I'm just slow and don't read fast
No,
enough.
sometimes I notice Apple TV does do that, where like the captions won't like generate for a second, and then they'll show up.
And then they're gone.
They're real quick and then disappear.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, that's how it was for me. So
Yeah.
it's maybe it was just Apple, but I couldn't understand some things because of that.
Fair.
Yeah, that will definitely ruin your experience.
Yeah.
But that's it that truly was it for me.
Yeah. Me here.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it's just your classic zombie experience. So
Mhm. Yeah. Well, if that's it for what didn't work, then what did work here?
I think this is a zombie story that works very, very good.
Yeah. I think it does work incredibly well.
And I think I guess you would put it under the writing because I feel like you can make this story bigger than it is and make a bigger movie, and there's so many things that you can do with this little story, and I think that's why I think it works so well because I loved it, and I feel like I could just think of so many things just to add and take off and make my own story out of it,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why I like that so much.
Turn it into The Walking Dead.
You could you almost could, because like in the beginning of the movie, you get the people spraying down the cars and saying, "Oh, it's just a chemical thing. Like we're just
Yeah.
like it could start like pandemic, bro."
The
One
Walking
thing
Dead zombies are too slow.
Yeah.
They're too freaking slow.
These
It's
zombies
stupid.
are quick as
Yeah.
These
Holy
zombies
cow.
are brutal. Absolutely brutal.
brutal.
They're different. That's for sure.
I'm gonna watch that movie again, man.
Another thing that really works for me, the acting.
Gotta
I think
be the acting.
the actors are awesome.
Mhm.
Like everyone in their role just nails it, and I believe every single one that's on screen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I don't know if it's just because maybe I haven't seen all the actors here in a lot, but like when I see them on screen, I'm like, I believe that guy's homeless. like I believe that this guy that's portraying the jerk is like a worn out businessman.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I don't know. It was cool also seeing familiar faces, and like when you see the guy that's the baseball player, I immediately recognized him. I'm like, that guy looks familiar. Where have I seen him from? And I look him up, and I'm like, oh, he's
Yeah.
the brother in Parasite.
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah, and then same thing with Gong Yo, who plays the jerk, our protagonist. I'm like, that guy looks familiar too.
He's in.
And look at him. I watched Squid Game.
Yep.
He's in Squid Game. You know, and I don't think there was any other ones that I.
You haven't
knew.
watched Eternals, huh?
No,
Oh, okay.
no,
Or,
but I do know that the Brute is
yes,
in it as
yes, and he does a good job.
Okay.
So, yeah, they all are phenomenal.
well. Yeah.
I even think just the writing in general is
Yeah.
solid.
Yeah, me too.
I mean it's great.
Yeah, I really appreciate like the approach to like introducing logic into an apocalypse movie.
Love
Because I feel like so often apocalypse movies just get hit with like, we want to see zombies killing people and people killing zombies, you know? And there's no like effort to like, okay, well, let's think about this. If it truly were to happen, what are we going to do to protect ourselves? How are we going to survive? What can we do to ensure our safety?
that. Mhm.
And I felt like this movie was written with that perspective in mind, and it felt rewarding for a viewer because I didn't ask myself the entire time, these people are so stupid, why did they do this? You know, or something like that. Like I was able to recognize like, oh, these people feel like they know what they're doing, and they feel like they actually want to survive,
Mhm.
you know, so
Yeah. I think the pacing here works flawlessly.
Mm.
I really
Yeah.
enjoyed the slow start, the build, and then the just absolutely frenetic pace of seeing these zombies. Like I even like some of the shots of the zombies, how they like it almost seems overwhelming to the camera with how the motion is presented. Like there are some scenes where a zombie will trip and then it's just like a wave of
Yeah.
zombies just tripping over each other.
yeah.
It's like overwhelming in the best way possible.
Yeah.
And I think the way the story is paced out is good too. I mean, you have like a heartfelt scene in the beginning,
Yeah.
followed by just overloaded tension all the way up to the very last heartfelt scene goodbye.
Yeah.
And it just kept me engaged the whole time.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna agree with you that there because it did not feel like almost 2 hours. It's a 2 hour movie. It's 150. But I thought this movie was quick. Because I looked at my phone, and I think I started the movie like around 2:30, and I looked at my phone. And I said, "It's already 4 something."
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. And I was like, "That's crazy." Like I watched this movie, and this movie went quick,
Mm-hmm.
and it worked because my eyes were glued to the screen, and I didn't feel like 2 hours went by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah, and you've got a good characters, a good story, all wrapped into a zombie apocalypse that we're really familiar with.
Mhm.
It's something that we know but spiced up,
Yeah.
and I think that's what really just surprised me.
Yeah, and it also sells it. Like, this is more than just your average zombie movie.
Yeah,
This is something like you had said. It's gonna have a little spice on top.
yeah,
You know, it's gonna it's gonna give us some flavor, and
Mhm.
it's good. So, anything else for what did work?
that's it for me.
That's it for me.
Okay. Who wins the movie?
I'll go first and say Sang-ho.
Sang-Hwa, aka the Brute.
Yeah,
Brute.
the actor is Ma Dong-seok. I think that's how you say his name.
Yeah,
I think so.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's a goat. He did. he
is the
did a
goat.
lot
Goat.
of good things in this movie. And again, I don't want to say I'm the COO, but like he does do a lot of good things in the movie. It made me root for him and the pregnant lady, even though I don't want to save her.
Yeah. Yeah. I immediately found myself being like, this is the best character.
Yeah,
He's
when you
the best
when you
character.
texted us in the group chat and you said,
I said
You said Blue
I said Blue
Jacket
Jacket guy is
goat?
the best character. He's the goat.
He is, without a doubt.
yeah, when you texted that, I chuckled because I was like, yeah,
He
Yeah.
is, man.
Yeah, I loved him.
He wins
yeah,
that
he
for
wins
me.
the movie for me.
All right. Any themes here for Train to Busan?
Yes.
Subtle class warfare.
Ooh.
The COO, the rich guy, the financial dude, stepping on all the poor people
Yeah.
at his own benefit. You know.
Mhm. You're gonna disagree. There's a quote that I'm stealing from Vsauce that stole it from a guy, or he was just quoting from another guy. I didn't get the guy who was quoting it from, so I'm quoting Michael from Vsauce. He says, and I agree with this wholeheartedly, whether it be zombie apocalypse or anything else, those who travel the fastest those who travel alone travel the fastest, but those who travel together travel the farthest.
Mm.
And I think it is 100% true,
Yeah.
especially in the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
You have to find people who you can rely on, support, lead, follow, perfect, and then you'll go the farthest. You will survive.
Yeah.
And it is shown
Okay,
throughout
but
this movie.
I also don't think you're gonna find those people from the get-go. I think you'll find those people when you travel solo for a while.
They
and-
found him.
Yeah, they were all in that situation together. They had a shared experience. So I don't think they would leave each other for a second.
No. They
like,
traveled together.
Like, imagine you experience something traumatic with someone that you didn't know, and you
Your
share
brothers.
this experience with
Your
one another,
brothers.
and you get out of it alive. Guess what? You
Yeah.
guys are linked now.
Your
Like,
brothers,
You're,
literal
you're
brothers.
like, we're not going anywhere without each
Yes.
other. Like, that's just how it's gonna be. Like, yeah,
a classic example, Walking Dead, man.
yeah,
They are like the closest knit people because they're going through crap together.
or even The Last of Us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It just, you bond together, you band together, you survive.
yeah.
I think, but I also think I would react in a different world because also
Ape together, strong.
Yeah.
What does he say? Right?
Yeah.
It's like a universal thing.
Yeah.
So whether it be zombie apocalypse or life, stick together.
Yeah. It's good.
I
Like
don't
that.
got anything.
That's all
All
I
right.
got.
What are we rating it then?
I'll go first, and I gave it an 8.
Solid.
Solid 8. Good movie. Think you should watch it if you're a fan of foreign films, and I think you should watch it if you're a fan of zombie films. I think it's a good zombie film to watch, and I think it's up there.
All right.
An 8. I'm giving it an 8 as well. An 8. 8.
Okay.
A pretty freaking solid movie.
Yeah. I am too.
Okay.
8's all around.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah. I really enjoyed it. I'm glad I've got to check it off my list. I'm gonna tell my brothers about it and be like, yo, you gotta check this out.
Check it
if you like zombie movies, this is a good one. So
Yeah, it's good.
For sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's the end of the episode, you guys. So if you stuck all the way to the end, we
Thank you.
appreciate you. Thank you. We love you. And we wouldn't be doing this
And
if
good night.
if it wasn't for you guys. Yeah, bye. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, 'cause you said thank you.
And
I don't know what you said, but it sounded like you were saying the outro, and I was like,
But yeah, we appreciate you guys. If you stuck all the way to the end and you're watching on YouTube, leave us a like, subscribe to the channel, comment on the videos. Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know about things that we could potentially fix, suggestions for films, praise, constructive criticisms, whatever it is that you want to do, let us know there. Again, like the videos, turn the bell on if you want to be notified whenever we upload. And if you're listening on the audio platforms, whether that be Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, etc., hit us up with a rate and review and let us know what you're thinking of the episodes there. It also gives people credence to look at the reviews and be like, oh, okay, maybe there might be something of substance here. We'll scroll through a couple of our episodes and be like, I've seen that one. Boom, let's put it on and see what they think about it. So, yeah, we appreciate you guys again so much. We wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for you guys. And, well, maybe we would just because we're doing it for the love of the game.
yeah,
But
we're just talking.
yeah, this just, we
This
just
is
do
fun.
this just because it's fun and we love hanging out with one another and talking about the film. So, yeah, as always, we're going to reveal the next pick for next week, which is Abe's pick.
yeah.
What you got
So
for
what are we
us?
watching?
So I was stuck between four films, and I think I'm gonna stick with this one just 'cause I think it's a good. It is an animated film, so I'm sorry for going animated back to back. And I'm gonna do the 2017 film Coco.
Okay. I've never seen this.
I've only seen
Really?
it once,
Okay.
and it's been a
I only
minute.
know Un Poco Loco.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. We just passed Dia de los Muertos,
Mm.
That's all what it's all about.
and
Yeah.
this is about Dia de los Muertos, and I think this shows, it brings light to the Dia de los Muertos holiday, and I think it gives a good example of what it is, and it's a fun watch.
Okay.
So-
I like this movie.
Okay.
It's got a lot of heart. A lot of heart.
Okay.
And I love Disney and Pixar, so
All right.
I think I might watch it in English and in Spanish. It is streaming on Disney Plus.
Good.
So check it out there.
All right.
I've seen this one 5-6 times now.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it.
I never have. It's gonna be first.
Yeah, I'm
watch
excited
me,
for you to
so.
watch it. I've only like I said, I've only seen it once. And it's been a minute since I've watched it, so I'm excited to watch it again.
All right.
All right. We'll tune in next week to hear what we have to say about Coco. As always, this has been the Film Bros Podcast. Thank you, and good night.
Good night.
Good night.